Facebook wasn't the first thing I built. I also built chat systems and games, study tools and music players, and I'm not alone. J.K. Rowling got rejected 12 times before she finally wrote and published Harry Potter. Even Beyoncé had to make hundreds of songs to get Halo. The greatest successes come from having the freedom to fail.
Marck ZUCKERBERG, billionaire CEO of Facebook and Meta, began building his empire at the age of 12 years old when he first started to code.
Reporting that there is an email from Harvard. Is that correct?
Years later, he was accepted into Harvard as a computer science major.
Yay.
What?
I got accepted.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right! Yes!
Facebook came from humble beginnings, straight out of Zuckerberg's college dorm room.
When we first launched, we were hoping for, maybe 400, 500 people. Harvard didn't have a Facebook, so that's the gap that we were trying to fill. And now we're at 100,000 people, so who knows where we're going next.
I remember that night I launched Facebook from that little dorm in Kirkland House. I went to Noakes with my friend, and I remember telling him clearly that I was excited to help connect the Harvard community, but one day someone would connect the whole world. The thing is, it never even occurred to me that that someone might be us. We were just college kids. We didn't know anything about that. There were all these great big technology companies with all these resources, and I just assumed one of them would do it. But this idea was so clear to us that all people want to connect. So we just kept working on it, day after day after day. And I know that a lot of you are going to have your own stories just like this. A change in the world that seems so clear that you are sure someone else is going to do it. But they're not. You will.
I have to ask, you dropped out of Harvard last year, so how old are you? When are you going back to school?
Well, that's unclear. I am 21, but I finished my sophomore year and came out to Palo Alto, fully expecting that I'd actually go back to Harvard in the fall, but didn't quite make it after Peter put his money in. But we started building a company instead, and got a little sidetracked.
Opportunities like this don't come around that often, so when you get one, I feel like you almost have a duty to see it through and build it to be what it can be.
Even though Zuckerberg has reached a peak net worth of $142 billion, he has pledged to give away 99% of his wealth, much of which has already gone towards treatment of diseases.
To me, entrepreneurship is about creating change, not just creating companies. And the most effective entrepreneurs who I've met care deeply about some mission and some change that they're trying to create, and often they don't even start because they're trying to create a company. Be prepared to be misunderstood. Anyone working on a big vision is going to get called crazy, even if you end up right. Anyone taking on a complex problem is going to get blamed for not fully understanding it, even though it's impossible to know everything up front. Anyone taking initiative will always get criticized for moving too fast, because there's always someone who wants to slow you down. In our society, we often don't take on big things because we're so afraid of making mistakes that we ignore all the things wrong today if we do nothing. The reality is, anything we do today is going to have some issues in the future. But that can't stop us from getting started.